Hello everyone, it's Granny Gamester here with Conan Exiles Complete Guide on how to play this wonderful survival game. Now I am going to be playing this on the PlayStation 4 with the PlayStation 4 controller. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your character to your best advantage for this game. So the first screen that I have up, if you can see up in the left-hand corner, it says Conan Exiles and Isle of Sipta. Now these are two different maps. Conan Exiles is the original map, and Isle of Sipta came a couple years later. So we're going to be playing Conan Exiles, and first up is Play Online. Now if you want to play player versus player or play with multiplayers, that's where you want to go. But I highly suggest you don't do that for your first playthrough. I don't think you'll have a very good time. I think it would end up being a very stressful scenario. And then we have single player co-op. Now that's what I would suggest you do, especially if you're a first time survival game player. Co-op is great. If you have a friend that can play with you, that's awesome. That's even better. And then we have settings and we have credits. So we're going to go ahead and click on single player. And we're going to start a new game. And we're going to play in single player. So I'm going to hit my square button. And the next screen says the exile lands civilized, decadent, or barbaric. Now civilized mode is the easiest. Now if this is your first survival game and you want to explore different strategies without being severely punished, this is the game for you. And this is what I would recommend you do if you have never played a survival game before. You gain experience faster from everything. You don't need to drink and eat as often, and food will spoil more slowly. You do more damage to enemies and they do less damage to you. Converting thralls is faster than normal. You do not drop your items on death. Buildings do not become abandoned over time, and the purge will not attack your base. Now decadent is normal. Now this is if you have played survival games before and you want to be challenged but not overwhelmed. This is the baseline Conan Exiles experience. Now you will drop all your items on deaths and you have to recover them from your body. And that's a biggie. That's a biggie. If you don't want to be stressed out about that, then play civilized. Buildings do not become abandoned over time, and the purge will target and attack your base periodically. Now the purge can be fun once you know what you're doing. And now the game has, since its update, you no longer get a purge in some areas. So, and then there's the barbaric. Now the barbaric is for the hardcore players who have played this a lot, know what they're doing, and they want a good challenge. So enemies do significantly more damage and are significantly harder to kill. You gain experience only for your actions, not for simply surviving, and survival is harder and resources are harder to come by. You drop all items on death and you must find your body to recover them, and the purge will target and attack your base periodically. And then it has the Isle of Sipta, which gives you the same options, but we are playing Exile Lands, so we're going to play Decadent. So let's go ahead and hit our square button. Now, same game already exists. Do you wish to overwrite it? Yes, I do. And do you want to leave this save? Yes, I do. Now, the screen that you're seeing now is actually a shot from Isle of Sipta. You will not see this in Conan Exiles. This is the tower in Isle of Sipta. And I highly recommend once you've played this game, you try that one. This is another scene from it. Fabulous. Yeah. Fun game. Lots to it. They did a great job with it. But I have to say, my heart has always belonged to the original Conan Exiles. This is just an extraordinary game. And they keep improving it all the time. So the next screen that comes up is there you are on the cross. You get to choose your gender. You're either male or female. Of course, we're going to do female. And here I am hanging on the cross, and my first selection is my race. Now your race really doesn't come into play with gameplay. It really doesn't matter which race you choose. But each race has a little synopsis of their history, where they came from, what their characteristics are, etc., etc. So you get to kind of flip through these and find out what appeals to you. I'm going to do a Khitan. They are known to be mysterious and secretive, which increases their reputation as powerful sorcerers. Now, even though the race alludes to being sorcerers, you're not. There's no sorcery in this game. There's potions and that, but no magic in this game. So we're going to choose that for our race. Now, the religion, on the other hand, is a different story. This does matter. And the first religion they offer is Mitra. Now, Mitra specializes in healing and light, and its avatar is a bronze statue. Now, it gives you a little history of Mitra and what it's about. But for this guide, I'm just going to give you what things I think are an advantage to using this religion, and some that are not so good. So with Mitra, you get what's called ambrosia, and it's a healing potion, and it heals 3 health points per 3 seconds when you consume it. It weighs almost a pound, not quite, 0.88. There are stacks of 20. And compared to the weak aloe extract that you can get in the game for free without doing anything, you don't have to make an altar or anything else to acquire it. That heals 80 health points, period. And it has a stack of 10, and it only weighs 0.58, so like half a pound. The nice thing about Mitra is that on your second level of the altar, you do get a fountain that you can make and a statue, which is very nice. It's lovely for additions to your house or your castle or palace, that kind of thing. The avatar is a giant statue of Mitra, and yeah. This is one of the ones that I would recommend if you want some really good healing potions. The only drawback to them is that they're heavy to carry. So that's Mitra. Now we come to Set. Now Set is the old serpent. He's the god of the Stygians. And Set worshipped originated in the serpent people, who were driven from the world by King Kul of Lusia, but he rose once again among ancient races of the south. Now, Set religion specializes in poison and antidotes, which I think is one of the most important religions for that reason. The avatar is a giant serpent, and the poisons come in the form of snake arrows that you can make. And whatever you hit with those, it causes poison. So it's very important. If you're out with your thrall, you got a big boss, and it has to be a boss that you can poison, of course. But if you do, you can stand in the background and assist your thrall by poisoning the boss with these arrows, and you can do this right away. So yeah, your first level of the altar will let you do that. And then it also has an antidote for poison. So if you're poisoned by a spider per se, and yeah, you can take that antidote for it. So yeah, Set's a good religion. Whoops, we got Yogg here. Then we have Yogg. Yogg specializes in flesh preparation and cannibalism. Yeah, his avatar is a tentacled horror, and it is. Yeah, Yogg has petrified flesh. It satiates your hunger up to 76, which is actually pretty good. It stacks 20, and it's a 0.88 in weight, so it's almost a pound. It also has health regen, which heals 2 health points every 3 seconds. And it also gives decent armor and weapons, but again, it doesn't offer the best weapon and armors in the game, so you might want to take that into consideration. But if health regen is important to you, and yeah, curing your hunger in one whack, that's the way to go. And then there's Ymir. Now, Ymir is the god of snow and war. He's all about battle. It has relatively strong armor and weapons offered, but again, they're not best in the game. So think about that one. And you can make ice from the altar of Ymir. And he also offers later in the game at the altar. I think you do have to have a particular name thrall for this. But you can make the Berserker's Potion, which gives better fighting stats. I think it increases your stamina during battle. It regens faster, so that's the plus with that one. Then we have the religion of Darchetto. It specializes in fertility and death, and the avatar is the two-faced goddess. Now, Darchetto offers the elixir of freedom. Now, this increases stamina and regen also, and it stacks 20, and it's 1.78 pounds, so it's almost 2 pounds, pretty heavy to carry around. And she also offers transmute. Now, this is recipes for honey, bread, aloe, and compost, and blood that you can make at the altar, but it does require other ingredients offered at the altar to make these, but at least you have that available. Especially if you're in an area that doesn't have any aloe, that might be handy. That might come in handy. Then there's Krom. Krom has none. Krom offers absolutely nothing. He has no avatar, no utilities. Yeah, he's just the gloomy, savage god who hates weaklings. Yes, he's quite the guy. And then there's Zath. Zath is relatively new, but this is the god of cleansing. And this utility is kind of fun. This is the globe of Yazud. And this is a little ball of, I guess you'd call it onyx. And yeah, you can throw that at a enemy and it grows into this little spider companion. And he can hit. He has a hit points of 30. So, which is pretty good starting out. It really is. You can get a stack of 25. And he weighs 1.75. So 1.75 pounds about. So he's a little heavy, but yeah, pretty cool. That's a fun one. It really is fun. And if you're, if you're playing like a spider theme or something like that, that might be a lot of fun to do. And I must say the altar is really cool. It's very cool. It's just this huge spider. And the third level is really cool looking. So, all in all, I usually will choose the set religion simply because of the poison arrows, the snake arrows. Yeah, they're just really very handy. Even if you're not an archer, you can just have the bow and those arrows handy in case your thrall needs a little help. And it's great for healing poison. It has the antidote. So that's good for that. Now there is also one more, which is Yabelsag, and you get him in the grove, the Midnight Grove, which would come later in the game. So when we come up onto him, we'll talk about him later. So we're gonna go with Set, and then you have your voice. Now your voice is pretty cool. You can do strong,
are watching. The
desperate,
are watching.
savage, or stoic. Yeah, I usually go with stoic. I think that's pretty cool. And then we have head options. Now your left analog stick will choose, it will move down and it will choose which one you want to go with. Now you can see there's a slight difference in the faces. Your right analog will move her head from left to right, so you can get a good view. I usually go with this one. Yeah, I kind of like this. Then you can choose your skin color. So she's been out in the sun. She's going to be a little dark. And once you put your cursor on there, don't forget to press your X button to actually select it. Then we're going to move down to hair. Now there's quite a great selection here of hairstyles, especially for the ladies. And again, you can swish your head from side to side to get a good view. I just wish this one would show down the middle of her back because it's one big plate, and that's what I usually will choose. And this one's pretty cool. This is just long flowing hair. And I guess we'll choose this one this time. I very rarely choose this. And then you can choose your hair color. So there's a wide selection. And I'm gonna go with white because I'm a granny. So we're gonna go with white. Then we could do eyebrows. So if you want your person to have a more severe look, you would choose something like that. More placid, something like that. A little in between, or no eyebrows. So I think we're gonna go there, somewhere in the middle. And then you get to choose your eyebrow color. So we're gonna go a little bit lighter. I'm up like right there. And then we have eyeshadow. Now there's quite a selection of these as well, and you can see this one has like the most. It's more like a mask almost. So we're gonna go with, what are we gonna do? I was choosing color here. We're not gonna, there we go. I kind of like the first one. And you get to choose the color. We'll go with blue. And then the lips. Now the lips, as you can see, there's just the bottom changes here, but there's a couple of others. That one I really like. I usually use that one or that one. So we're gonna use this one this time, and we're gonna make it the same as the eyeshadow. So we're gonna click that. And then we have face details. Now this you can really go crazy with if you want. You know, you can set your jaw, chin, and it's very slight. And to be honest with you, you will not notice it as you're playing the game and looking at your character. Unless you make your character like a really out of the ordinary, like a really stocky person or something like that. Yeah. Guys, it might show a little more than women, but yeah. Yeah. So then we're going to go down to body features. Now this allows you to be a really short person, and as you can see, the kind of faded, it looks like a blue silhouette of the person right above this graph. If I move it to the middle, you can see that's kind of middle height, and then there's the really tall person, and you can see my person's height change on the cross as well. Now some people will choose small. They say it's easier to crawl under things if you're a small character. I usually choose the really tall, but the problem with that is that you're taller than every thrall that you get. So we're gonna kind of go middle of the road with this one. And then we go to physique. Now you can choose nudity or partial. We're gonna go with none. And then your physique. Now your physique you can make muscular like this, and you can notice it best on her arms, if you can watch that. Yeah, and her thighs. You can see it get really muscular, or you can have her kind of delicate. We're gonna go a little past mid. I like a little muscle, but not too muscly. So that looks good for me. And then of course there's always breast size, and that's a personal preference. So once you've done all that, then you can finalize your character. You're done. And you're ready to start your game. So this is going to be it for this guide. I just wanted to get you started with getting your character going, finalizing your character, and giving you all the ins and outs and what's important and what isn't. So yeah, if you liked, give me the big old like. And if you'd like to see more, just subscribe. And if you hit the little bell, you'll be notified when I post my next video. And my next video will be a guide on how to get started, the best way to start your game, what you need to do. And I will explain everything in the game as far as how to make things, what you're seeing on your screen and what it means, etc., etc. So, yeah. Until then, Granny Gamester out.